Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a topic that's really crucial for many of us, especially as we get into our 60s and beyond. We're talking about understanding and supporting prostate health.
That's right.
You might believe those frequent bathroom trips at night, maybe a weak flow, or that constant urgency.
Mm-hmm.
You might think it's just, well, part of getting older.
Mm-hmm. The inevitable decline.
Exactly. But here's something surprising, a fact that might just change how you think about it. Age, it turns out, isn't really the enemy here.
It really isn't. And what's truly illuminating from our sources today, which come from Dr. Mohit Khera, he's a professor of urology and men's health, is just how often these small, seemingly harmless daily habits build up. They quietly block the body's own ability to heal the prostate.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, Dr. Khera has spent over 3 decades helping men, mostly in their 60s and 70s, and he's seen firsthand how many suffer unnecessarily. They just accept these issues.
Believing it's just how it is.
Exactly, believing it's inevitable.
And that's precisely what we want to challenge today. Our mission in this deep dive is to reveal 10 of these hidden daily habits, the ones that quietly sabotage your prostate health. We'll explore how replacing them with healthier choices can actually help restore some balance, ease, and, well, strength to your life.
It's about regaining control.
Right. And listen, you'll definitely want to stick around for the last one. Number 1, Dr. Carr really highlights it as perhaps the most destructive habit, and it affects so many people who don't even realize its impact.
Indeed. We're aiming for practical, actionable insights today, things that might challenge some very common assumptions you hold. Dr. Carr's work really emphasizes that it's often the cumulative effect. It's not just one thing, but how these little habits pile up, creating this persistent cycle of inflammation and discomfort in the prostate.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's unpack this. We're going to count down from 10. Looking at these habits, Dr. Carr's decades of experience have shown are, well, quietly undermining prostate health. So let's kick off our list. Number 10. It's something surprisingly common, a habit most of us probably don't think twice about. Number 10. Holding in your urine. We're busy, maybe stuck in a meeting on a long drive, and we just ignore that urge.
Yeah, it's quite striking how something that feels so minor, so innocent, can be quite damaging over time. When you consistently ignore the urge to go, you're creating unnecessary pressure inside your whole urinary system.
Wow.
And that pressure stretches and weakens your bladder muscles. Over time, this makes it harder to empty completely.
And leftover urine. That can't be good.
Not at all. It just sits there, becoming a potential breeding ground for bacteria.
Right, which can then travel upwards towards the prostate.
Precisely. Upward, inflaming the prostate, that leads to pain, burning sensations, swelling.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Khera often mentions a patient, a man in his late 60s, who thought holding it during long car trips was, no big deal.
A common thought.
Totally. But by the time he sought help, he was dealing with repeated infections and even had a kidney stone, about the size of a marble. He really wished he'd just listened to his body earlier.
It's a tough lesson to learn that way.
It is. So the practical takeaway here seems clear.
Yeah.
Making it a priority to go when you feel the urge isn't weakness. It's actually wisdom and respect for your own health.
Well said.
Okay. So beyond what we avoid doing, like holding it in, let's look at what we do put into our bodies, things that might surprisingly cause harm. This brings us to our 9th hidden habit. Number 9, overusing painkillers.
Yes.
Many men regularly reach for things like ibuprofen, aspirin, naproxen for those daily aches and stiffness, thinking it's just a quick, harmless fix.
That's a really critical point, because what most men don't realize is how these drugs can quietly damage the delicate blood flow your prostate absolutely depends on to heal itself.
How does that work exactly?
Well, they reduce circulation, especially what we call microcirculation, those tiny vital blood vessels feeding the kidneys and the surrounding tissues. This essentially deprives your prostate of the oxygen and nutrients it desperately needs.
It's like starving it in a way.
Exactly. Think of it like kinking a garden hose. This starved environment allows inflammation to get stronger, trapping you in a cycle of pain and swelling.
Wow. Dr. Carr told us about a gentleman in his 70s. He'd been taking painkillers daily for years just so he could keep playing golf.
Trying to stay active, understandable.
Right. But when he finally sought help, his kidney function had noticeably declined, and his prostate symptoms were so bad he could barely sleep through the night. He had simply no idea those over-the-counter pills were having such a, lasting negative effect.
It's insidious because it's gradual.
It really is. So for you listening, it really raises an important question. Are you maybe masking pain now at the expense of your prostate's future health?
There are often safer paths. Things like exploring natural anti-inflammatories, regular stretching, gentle exercise. They can make a difference without that hidden cost.
Good point. Okay, moving on. Coming in at number 8, we have not drinking enough water.
Oh, this one sounds incredibly basic, doesn't it?
Almost too simple, yet it's a massive oversight for so many people.
It really is fundamental. Your body relies heavily on water to effectively flush out toxins and, crucially, keep your urine diluted. When you don't drink enough, your urine becomes concentrated. It's almost like, well, like an acid washing over those delicate tissues.
Ouch, that sounds unpleasant.
It is. This concentrated fluid directly irritates the lining of your prostate and your urinary tract. This can lead straight to inflammation, that burning feeling, and can even contribute to forming stones.
Stones again.
Yes. Dr. Khera shared a story about a retired teacher, late 60s. He proudly told him he drank only coffee and soda all day.
Why? To avoid bathroom trips.
Exactly. He thought he was being clever, saving himself hassle. But his prostate was swollen, his urine was literally full of crystals under the microscope, and he struggled with constant nagging urgency.
And the solution.
It was remarkably simple in his case. Just significantly increasing his water intake eased his symptoms dramatically.
Incredible.
So let's be really clear here. Drinking enough water isn't optional for good health. It is absolutely essential for keeping your prostate hydrated, calmer, and in a state where it can heal.
Okay, expert, we've talked about holding urine, painkillers, not enough water.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a common thread here about how these small everyday actions impact our body's internal environment, its ability to heal itself.
That's an excellent observation, yes. And staying very much in that theme, our next few habits really underscore how what we consume daily can either support or sabotage prostate health. Let's look at number 7, eating too much salt.
Salt, another common culprit.
And a silent disruptor. What's fascinating, connecting back to what we just discussed, is how excess sodium directly impacts that microcirculation.
Those tiny blood vessels again.
Precisely. When you consume too much salt, your body holds on to water. This raises your blood pressure, right?
Right.
That extra pressure congests and eventually damages those tiny, delicate blood vessels responsible for nourishing your prostate. So your prostate doesn't get that steady, nutrient-rich blood flow it needs to repair and heal.
Leaving it swollen and irritated.
Exactly. Swollen, irritated, and inflamed.
Dr. Khera mentioned a man, early 70s this time, who was getting up maybe 3 or 4 times every single night. He thought a quiet night's sleep was just a thing of the past.
A very common complaint.
It turned out his diet was almost entirely processed food, boxed meals, drive-through stuff just loaded with hidden sodium.
It adds up so quickly.
But when he consciously cut back on those processed foods, and therefore the salt, his nighttime trips were halved within just a few months.
That's a significant improvement.
It really is. A powerful reminder. Healing often begins when you start to strip away the excess. You really need to be mindful of hidden sodium. It's lurking in canned soups, deli meats, frozen dinners, fast food, pretty much everywhere if you're not careful.
Reading labels becomes key.
Absolutely. And that actually leads us perfectly into number 6, eating processed foods more broadly.
Yes, the convenience factor is huge, but it comes at a very heavy inflammatory cost.
Explain that inflammatory cost.
Well, these processed foods, the convenience meals, frozen dinners, pastries, chips, packaged snacks, they're loaded with sodium, yes, but also usually excessive sugar, unhealthy fats, preservatives, additives. These ingredients don't just add empty calories, they actively fuel inflammation throughout your entire body.
Like adding fuel to a fire.
Precisely. And this constant low-grade inflammation is really the enemy of prostate healing. It leads to that persistent swelling, irritation, and a bladder that just never seems to feel calm or fully empty.
Dr. Khera recalled another patient, a man in his mid-60s. His symptoms just weren't improving, despite trying supplements, even exercise.
Frustrating for him, I'm sure.
Very. Until they looked closely at his diet, it was almost exclusively packaged foods. Boxed cereal for breakfast, maybe a frozen sandwich for lunch, fast food for dinner.
The standard modern diet for many, unfortunately.
True. But once he consciously replaced those with fresh vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, real food, his urgency eased noticeably, and his urine flow improved significantly.
It shows the power of nutrition.
It really does. Your prostate needs genuine nourishment, not a constant barrage of preservatives and additives. Every time you choose real whole foods, you're giving your body the actual building block it needs for repair.
Simple choices, profound impact.
Okay, next up on our countdown, At number 5, we have ignoring high blood pressure, often called the silent killer for heart health. But its reach extends further, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. What's truly striking and often overlooked is the direct link to prostate health. High blood pressure relentlessly damages blood vessels all through your body, and that includes those tiny vital vessels that feed and nourish your prostate.
Back to blood flow again.
Always back to blood flow. When these crucial vessels stiffen and narrow due to prolonged high pressure, your prostate is effectively starved of oxygen and nutrients. So instead of repairing itself naturally, it stays swollen, irritated, and inflamed. This leads directly to those frustrating symptoms like waking up multiple times at night, straining when you try to urinate.
Dr. Khera treated a man, late 60s, who had just dismissed his prostate problems as, just getting older. He never checked his blood pressure, which turned out to be sky high.
A dangerous oversight.
Very. But once his blood pressure was properly managed through a combination of diet changes, exercise, and medication, his nighttime bathroom trips lessened significantly, his energy came back, and he actually started sleeping through the night again.
That's life-changing.
Absolutely. It really shows that controlling your blood pressure isn't just about preventing a heart attack or stroke, though that's critical too. It's absolutely crucial for giving your prostate a fighting chance to heal.
It creates the right environment for healing.
Exactly. And now for number 4. Eating too much sugar. This might seem like just, a simple sweet indulgence here and there, a bit of dessert, a sugary drink. But the impact is far from benign, isn't it?
Far from it. If we connect this to the bigger picture we've been painting, excessive sugar consumption acts remarkably quickly to inflame and weaken the prostate. Think about it. Sugar floods your bloodstream with glucose. This disrupts hormones, it can raise blood pressure, and it directly damages those delicate blood vessel linings we keep talking about.
So sugar is another direct hit on the blood vessels.
A direct hit. And when these vessels are injured, healing slows right down almost to a crawl. This leaves your prostate vulnerable, swollen, and tender.
Dr. Khera mentioned an early 70s patient, constant urgency, poor flow. He actually thought he ate pretty healthy.
We often misjudge our own diets.
It's so true. It turned out his diet was absolutely full of hidden sugars, things you wouldn't necessarily think of. Sweetened breakfast cereals, pasta sauces, flavored yogurts, and of course, soft drinks.
They sneak sugar into everything.
They really do. But when he made a concerted effort to cut those hidden sugars back, replacing them with more fresh fruit, vegetables, using spices for flavor instead, his symptoms eased dramatically.
It's about being aware of those hidden sources.
Exactly. It's a powerful lesson. Sugar might offer that temporary pleasure, that quick hit, but it actively robs your prostate of lasting health in the long run.
A trade-off many don't realize they're making.
Expert. It is really striking how many of these habits, we've covered the salt, the processed foods, now the sugar, even the link with blood pressure, they all seem to circle back to inflammation and compromised blood flow. Is this underlying, consistent, low-grade inflammation a primary driver for many of the prostate issues Dr. Khera sees?
Absolutely, host. That's precisely the core principle Dr. Khera emphasizes time and again in his work. Chronic, low-grade inflammation, often fueled by these very daily habits, acts like a sort of slow-burning fire within the body.
A slow burn. I like that analogy.
It damages cells over time, it makes blood vessels stiff and less responsive, and it literally prevents the prostate from accessing the oxygen and nutrients it needs to regenerate properly. This continuous low-level irritation creates the perfect fertile ground for enlargement, for BPH, and other problems. It makes it incredibly difficult for the body to self-correct or heal. It's a silent but very persistent, destructive force.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, with that understanding of inflammation in mind, let's look at number 3 on our list. Smoking. Many men probably know it's bad for lungs and heart, but maybe underestimate its pervasive impact elsewhere.
That's very common. Its impact on the prostate is truly eye-opening and, frankly, devastating. Every single puff of a cigarette releases this cocktail of potent toxins into your bloodstream. These toxins actively scar and narrow the blood supply leading to the prostate.
Scarring the vessels.
Yes, causing direct physical damage. This, again, starves the prostate of the oxygen and vital nutrients it needs to recover from daily wear and tear, let alone heal from existing inflammation. The result is chronic inflammation, worsening urinary symptoms, and very importantly, a significantly higher risk of developing prostate cancer.
Wow. Dr. Khera recounted a story of a man in his mid-60s who had smoked for decades. Even though he had finally quit, the damage unfortunately had already taken its toll.
The legacy effect.
Exactly. He was left with a significantly enlarged prostate and a very weak urine flow. He really wished someone had been brutally honest with him much earlier about smoking's full impact on his entire body, including his prostate.
It's hard to hear, but important.
It is. But there's good news here, too. For anyone listening who still smokes, Dr. Khera always emphasizes it is absolutely never too late to quit. Your body has a remarkable ability to heal.
That's encouraging.
And circulation specifically can begin to improve within just weeks of stopping smoking. So there's always hope for improvement.
Definitely a motivating factor.
Okay, almost at the top. Coming in at number 2, drinking too much alcohol. Now, this is another habit many men might dismiss as relatively harmless, maybe just part of relaxing or socializing. But daily overindulgence can quietly break down your prostate health over time.
It really can. What's fascinating here, or perhaps concerning, is how alcohol acts as a direct toxin. It forces your kidneys and your liver to work overtime to process it, and, well, the prostate suffers collateral damage too.
How so?
Well, first, alcohol dehydrates you significantly. This concentrates your urine, making it more irritating to the entire urinary tract, including the prostate lining, keeping it inflamed.
Like the lack of water issue.
Exactly, it compounds that problem. But beyond that, heavy drinking over time raises blood pressure. We've already discussed why that's bad. It disrupts crucial hormone balances. And perhaps surprisingly to some, it can increase belly fat. And that specific type of abdominal fat can actually produce estrogen, even in men.
Estrogen in men.
Yes, and estrogen is known to further fuel prostate enlargement, adding yet another layer to the problem for men who drink heavily on a regular basis.
That's quite a cascade of effects.
It really is. Dr. Khera counseled a man, late 60s again, who enjoyed, just a couple of beers every single night to relax after work. Pretty standard for some.
Sounds moderate.
It sounds moderate, but his symptoms were steadily worsening. It wasn't until he made a conscious effort to really reduce his drinking, adding several alcohol-free days into his week, that he saw dramatic improvements. His nights became much quieter.
So even seemingly moderate daily drinking can be an issue.
For some men, absolutely. While an occasional drink might be perfectly fine, that pattern of daily overindulgence keeps your prostate trapped in that cycle of irritation and inflammation.
Okay, we've covered a lot, 9 habits down, but now we're at number 1. The habit that Dr. Khera highlights as perhaps the most insidious, the most damaging, impacting so many men, often without them fully realizing the connection. Are you ready for number 1? Neglecting diabetes management.
Yes. If we really want to connect everything back to the bigger picture of long-term health, uncontrolled or even just poorly managed diabetes is quite possibly the single most damaging lifestyle factor for your prostate health.
More than the others, why so significant?
Because high blood sugar, the hallmark of uncontrolled diabetes, directly attacks those tiny essential blood vessels, the microvasculature, that supply the prostate with life-giving oxygen and nourishment.
A direct assault on the blood supply.
A direct, relentless assault. When those vessels are injured day after day by high glucose levels, the prostate becomes chronically inflamed, its ability to heal slows dramatically, and those urinary symptoms, the urgency, frequency, weak stream, they just grow progressively worse.
Is the damage reversible?
To some extent, yes, with good control. But uncontrolled diabetes over years can cause irreversible damage not just to the prostate vessels, but nerves too. This can potentially lead to a long-term dependence on medications, invasive procedures, or sometimes even surgery that might have been avoidable.
That's a sobering thought.
It is. Dr. Khera shared a particularly powerful story about a gentleman in his 70s. He was utterly frustrated, completely exhausted from waking up 5, sometimes 6 times a night, convinced nothing could possibly help him.
At his wit's end.
Completely.
Yeah.
It turned out his severe prostate problems were being directly fueled by years of uncontrolled blood sugar levels. He simply hadn't made the connection or prioritized his diabetes management sufficiently.
What happened when he did?
Once he truly committed to meticulously managing his diabetes through careful diet, regular exercise, and consistent medication, the changes were undeniable. His urgency eased, his nights grew significantly quieter, and perhaps most importantly, he felt this profound sense of renewed hope and control over his body.
That's incredible.
It truly illustrates the point. So the crucial takeaway for anyone listening, especially if you have diabetes or prediabetes, if you genuinely want to heal your prostate and protect its future health, managing your blood sugar must be an absolute top, unwavering priority.
Wow. Well, there you have it. We've walked through these 10 daily habits that Dr. Khera, through his decades of experience, has seen quietly steal comfort, dignity, and, well, peace of mind from men just like you.
Habits that often fly under the radar.
Exactly. But the good news, the really empowering news here, is that the moment you begin to change even one or two of these habits, true healing can finally start to take place.
The body wants to heal.
It does. So what does all this mean for you listening right now? It means you likely have much more power than you might realize to influence your own health journey, far more than just accepting things as simply getting older.
It puts the power back in your hands.
It really does. So maybe ask yourself, which of these habits we discussed today will you choose to address first? Which small step can you take, starting today, to begin building a healthier future for yourself and your prostate?
It's clear, I think, that true vitality, especially as we age, comes from really understanding our body's signals, listening to them, and then making consistent, informed choices day by day. It's not about passively accepting decline.
Well said.
This deep dive, hopefully, is just the beginning of that journey towards better health and greater self-awareness for many.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this deep dive into prostate health. We genuinely hope these insights from Dr. Khera's work empower you to take more control of your well-being. If you found this conversation helpful, please do like it, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable insights designed just for you.
Take care.
Until next time, stay well.